In the tidal flats of South Asia, the world's ships find their final resting place. Ship recycling here is an industry of immense scale, feeding the steel hunger of a growing nation. But for decades, it operated in the shadows, where thousands of workers toiled without formal structure or a collective voice. Graveyard to Greenyard. Over time, small steps of collective action began to open the possibility of change. The transformation of the shipbreaking industry was driven by a powerful synergy between local action and international support. While their roles differed, few key stakeholders acted as the collective engine for this change. Alang Sosia Ship Recycling and General Workers Association, the movement's local engine that unified scattered laborers into India's first recognized shipbreaking union to secure safety and dignity on the ground.
When we started activities in 2003, formed a union in 2005, the employer or the authorities, particularly the employer, were saying that this is not an industry. Even the Factory Act is also not applicable to this industry. It's not covered under the schedule of the Minimum Wages Act. Then we took a first step that we wrote to the Ministry of Labour, asking them to include this shipbreaking industry in the schedule of minimum wages.
Supported by Industry Oil Global Union as the strategic global partner, providing the international framework and pressure to elevate labor rights to worldwide standards.
We work with our affiliates to ensure that the workers' rights are respected, the social protections and the benefits they receive, sustainable industrial policies, and how to confront the global capitals.
And this solidarity was further strengthened by allies such as FNV and JBU, unions from shipbuilding nations that shared their cradle-to-grave construction expertise. Their support helped establish training centers and deliver world-class programs, equipping workers with the skills to dismantle vessels more safely and effectively.
So a lot of the ships that are being offered to break at the shores of South Asian countries have their origin in the Netherlands. And we have a group of very active trade union members, shop stewards, that are working in the shipbuilding industry, that are very much interested in supporting unions that are working in the shipbreaking industry. Because it's also the responsibility of the shipbuilding industry that the ships are broken with good working conditions.
正直、基幹労連もインダストリオールの造船船舶開鉄部会の活動に参画するまでは十分に理解できていたとは言えません。しかし、部会の活動を通じて船舶開鉄国で起きていることを理解するにつれ、当時の大きな課題であった開鉄現場で働く仲間の安全確保と環境保護の解決に向け、造船国としての責任と同じ海事産業を支える仲間への敬意を形にして示したいと考えるようになりました。
The initial challenge wasn't just asking for rights. It was teaching workers that they had rights to safety, to health, and to social security.
It is not necessary that all of us working in establishment have the same amount of training, vision, fortitude, or a commitment to ensure greater public good for all of us. So you need a common voice. A common voice is this union, and it is very, very critical. It is an identity to which every worker can identify. He can relate and feel safe and secure that in case he is being oppressed or abused or not being paid in any manner, he has an alternative to reach out to protect to provide to handhold.
Providing potable drinking water in Mumbai was a milestone in Mumbai. Here, there was an accident in plot number 240 where 6 workers were lost their life, out of which 4 were from the nearby village named Piparla. When I, along with my colleague, went there and informed their relatives that as and when you complete these rituals, please visit our office and we will try to get a pension from Provident Fund. People were laughing to me because till that, uttering the word pension in shipbreaking was a joke. No one was getting pension, but we apply for pension, we pursue it not only to the Government of Gujarat Free of Office, through HMS, Hinda Mazdoor Sabha, our secretary, late Mr. Nagpal, who was a trustee of PF committee, he also kept pressure, and after couple of years fighting, the 4 workers next kin were passed a pension, and we got sympathy of the workers and the faith of the workers that union is doing something, whatever they are talking, they are complying it.
Step by step, the union achieved meaningful victories. Provident funds, PF, accident compensation, and safety measures. These small wins boosted worker confidence and showed that unity across all levels, with HMS as the national anchor, gave labor a collective voice strong enough to shape stakeholder decisions and ensure stability.
The union headed by Vidyadhar Rane, they bring number of cases to us, to HMS, and HMS with negotiating with the higher authorities, we settle those issues just like a pensions or PF payment of the employees deductions, and the UN number, unique number should be given to all workers. We are working on that. These are the strategies we discuss within ourselves, and nowadays employers are united and they are pursuing the government that they should not bother about the labor laws. There should be a flexibility in the labor laws. Whenever they want to recruit employees, they recruit. Whenever they want to kick out, they should kick out. But now, because the 10 central trade unions join hands together, we are working together. We are pursuing government that government should not bow down under the pressure of any employer as well as multinational. Industry peace should be there, and that should be understood by the employer, government as well as workers' leaders.
Ship recycling industry in Alang has come up with a lot of players which are managing this sort of ship recycling in Gujarat. So one is the Association of the Shipyard Owners, which is Shreya. There is a regulator which is the DG Shipping from Mumbai. There is also a state level regulator which is Gujarat Maritime Board. And there is a union of ship recyclers and general workers. And one of that such union is Sargua. And the Sargua has been playing a very constructive role and have been raising a lot of issues related to labor well-being, their safety before the National Shipping Board. While they are of the view that this industry should grow, but they are also of the view that with this growth, more and more benefits should come to the laborers and more hygienic conditions should be prevailing in the shipyards.
So union in Alang are very proactive, and they are taking lot of positive initiative for social welfare and for development of ship recycling yards at Alang. So we are regularly coordinating with them. We are taking lot of ideas from them. While forming our policies, we interact with them, we take their inputs for policy formation. And because of their positive inputs, we have been able to change some of our policies which are now helpful for growth of this sector at Alang.
Social dialogue. This was the platform where the three essential pillars, the workers, the employers, and the government, were compelled to stop talking about each other and start talking to each other.
Basically, it has to be a two-way dialogue where all stakeholders are involved. So a common platform can be reached where a common housing society or something like that is made. But it has a lot of gears to it which can clog. It has to be a dialogue which will be probably involving each and every stakeholder. But yeah, that is something that needs to be probably figured out in the future, because each and every stakeholder has an important role to play in this.
This dialogue transformed confrontation into collective action. The International Labour Organization, ILO, recognized the context and supported essential tripartite structure.
And ILO has been very fortunate to be involved in Alang ship recycling initiative for the past 2 years. And I must say I've seen a lot of improvement, direct improvement on occupational safety and health issues. There's a good social dialogue between the workers' union, government institutions, and then employers' work.
The result of this unity was a revolution in mindset. Ship owners, the Gujarat Maritime Board, GMB, and the government saw the financial and ethical value of a professional, trained, and unionized workforce. The narrative shifted from vulnerability to collaboration. Today, this collaboration has established Alang's system as a model of governance.
10 years ago, the employers had all the power. Now there is a balance of power between workers, employers, and government. And I really feel positive about the situation in India. It's still not perfect, it still can improve, but the direction of travel is clear. The industry in India is professional, it's well managed. The relationships between the social partners are really good. Basically, everyone is on board to make the industry better. Everyone understands how it fits into the circular economy, how ship recycling will contribute to the Indian economy and India's vision for itself as a country. So in terms of regional development in Gujarat, for example, pretty much everything is lined up to make ship recycling a good industry and one which is a positive contribution to the local economy.
So in 1982, ship recycling started in India, in Alang. As on today, there are more than 9,000 ships of different types have been recycled in last 40 years. If you ask me the amount of steel recovered from ship recycling, it's equivalent to about 70 million tons. One can literally build 9,000 Eiffel Towers. The ship recycling in last 16 years, what I have seen is, I could say that there is a tremendous change in the process, especially when it comes to health, safety and environment. When I say safety, it's all about workers. The approach which they were having back in 2009 and the approach what is currently today in ship recycling yards, only a person who has seen this transition will be able to tell you. If you go to a ship recycling yard now, you see people with wearing all personal protective equipments, they are well trained, they are confident when they are working. But back in 2009, that was not the case. In 2009, when I visited ship recycling yard for the first time, there was a lot of reluctance for any outside person to come and visit a ship recycling yard. And now in 2026, there are about 115 ship recycling yards which are compliant with Hong Kong Convention standards, and all of them welcome their doors for any visitors coming over to them to see the changes they have done in the ship recycling industry. So it has a huge potential.
So basically, ship recycling business at Alang is one of the biggest ship recycling facility in entire Asia, and it will be soon one of the biggest facility in the world after our expansion plan is completed. So ship recycling business, generally people think that it is a polluting industry or it is a dirty business, but it is not so. Nowadays technologies are there in which all the pollutants which come out of ship recycling are processed as per international norms. For that, GMB has developed various facilities at site, and we have also collaborated with other pollution treating facilities across country, where we send certain pollutants which we cannot treat at our facility. They are sent to those facilities which are internationally recognized to treat such hazardous material.
Though the industry is functioning in a village of Gujarat, it has a global influence. Influence of ship owners, influence of shipping companies, those who are selling their ships, influence of bank in Europe, influence of cash buyers, influence of ILO, IMO and Basel, all the three specialized agencies of the United Nations, and all three have their own guidelines, but there was not a convention on this.
A local voice needed a structural bridge to the global industry. IndustriAll Global Union formalized the strategy.
So we identified the Hong Kong Convention for the Safe and Environmentally Sound Recycling of Ships. We worked with our affiliates in those countries to put pressure on their governments to ratify the convention, and we also worked with ship owners and financiers and pretty much everyone in the value chain, and we think that we are on track to improve the industry.
The successful ratification of the Hong Kong Convention, HKC, is the ultimate historic milestone. Building on this achievement, progressive employers also played a notable role in deepening the transformation. With all yards now HKC compliant and concretized to protect the tidal flats, they reinforced standards by ensuring that no part of a ship could fall into the sea, requiring every section to be lifted and carried safely ashore. The most forward-looking employers went further still, investing in housing colonies that gave workers dignified living conditions. These efforts reflected a positive attitude toward change and reinforced Alang's reputation as a world-class recycling hub.
See, the HKC essentially is a convention. The convention needs to be adopted with statutory backing. Now, statutory backing means it has to be a legislation where for non-compliance there has to be a deterrent. It could be in the nature of a penalty, it could be in the nature of proscription or a ban for a certain period of time. But it cannot be that the HKC becomes an excuse to ensure a legislation that has unbelievable compliance burden and undermines and deters the complete ease of doing business. So the ship recycling regulations, the Ship Recycling Act and the Ship Recycling Rules, these provide the legal framework which codifies and embodies the Hong Kong Convention. But this is the baseline. Everything progressive as an engagement starts from this baseline. This is the framework beneath which you cannot work and should not work, because then you are non-compliant. Above this, how you work, how progressively you engage, what facilities you provide, and how quickly and how remuneratively you partner the recycling of an asset, that is a ship, is the value story. And why we are saying a value story is, you are pitching India as the foremost global destination, meaning in the growth of the ship recycling unit, not just myself, yourself, but everyone has a stake. It gives jobs, it supports households, and it grooms India's bright future ahead.
The next critical focus is downstream recycling and advanced waste management. This requires sustained social dialogue to ensure that collective bargaining drives future reforms. Alang is now more than an industry. It is the India blueprint for South Asia. The workers organized, the global community mobilized, and the industry transformed. This is the enduring legacy of solidarity. The Alang Union didn't just change this industry. It showed the world a perfect example of how